You know, history tells us that storytelling began in 700 BC. That's when the first known printed story was, a tale that told about the deeds of a Sumerian king. But I think the storytelling began long before that. I think it began right from the beginning, because we all tell them, we all relish in them, and our culture doesn't grow without them. Where I come from, stories are everything. We live to live and relive the stories of the hunt. You know, there's just so many memories, and every day a new thread is woven into our story. While we live for the hunt, it's the stories that we remember. And it's the stories that ensure that those that come after us remember who we are and what we stood for. I'm an outdoor communicator by trade. My job is to tell stories, whether it be in person, with written words, through photos, or with video. Whatever the medium, whatever the story, it's my job to tell it. It's up to me and all the storytellers who walk alongside me to protect and promote all that's holy about our hunting heritage. But while we may not all be wordsmiths, we're all storytellers, and we all have a story to share. This is my story. On day 4, I walked into the stand for the first time. I hunted that morning, but I never saw the big buck. I'm pretty confident that the deer had already made it back to its bed well before daylight. That afternoon, I trekked back into the stand, but set up in just a little bit different spot with a little more visibility, hoping to get an idea and receive a little bit more intel to draw a little bit more information on what this deer's new pattern was. A small thunderstorm rolled through that afternoon shortly after I sat down, and I probably should have climbed out of the tree, but I'm definitely glad that I didn't. Mere minutes after the storm passed, deer started filtering out into the field in front of me, and it wasn't long before the big 8 popped out with them. And you know, it was just really cool because I got to sit there and watch that deer for 45 minutes. He stood at 70 yards for quite some time. And the deer finally made it within range, but he never did offer me a shot. but the hunt was exhilarating and the encounter was pure adrenaline. I knew I would be back the next day, but it was going to require a slight change in stand location to get the job done. The next afternoon, pretty confident that the deer would do the same thing that he'd done the day before, I eased in there, took my lightweight lock-on tree stand and climbing sticks, and I cut the distance in half from where I'd been setting the day before and where the deer first came out. So I was about 100 yards from where the deer should pop out into the open.
Well, we're back after the big 8 and hoping that he comes out. We had a close encounter with him. Back after it, trying to get close to this deer. We've cut the distance in half from where we sat on him last time, and I'm hoping that that gives us just enough that he makes it to us in daylight. So we've cut the distance, done a hanging hunt specifically for this hunt, for this deer. We're gonna settle in here and we're gonna see if we can't make it happen.
Self-filming, and I sat there and watched this deer for a good 20 minutes as he fed on the clover right out in front of me at about 60-70 yards. And you know, the adrenaline was pumping so bad and I was getting so excited that I literally had to sit there and close my eyes and just barely peep out every now and then and see if the deer had broke or not. But you know, I was able to get calmed down, and after about 20 minutes the deer broke and started to come within range. So I put the camera, positioned it, got it ahead of the deer, drew my bow, let the deer walk into the frame, and then I just made the shot. And thanks to the good Lord, I made a good one.
Right. Right.
You know, there are rumors that this is one of the largest velvet 8-pointers ever killed. Now, I can't confirm or deny any remarks regarding records. I haven't really looked myself. That's not ever been what it's about for me. It's about the pride I have in being a bow hunter. It's about the healthy venison for the table in my family. And it's about the memory. It's about the story.